Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading. Tattle tales from the Vector. This is general or collective, so parts of it may or may not resonate. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And it's also a timely reading. So if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. If it's been a while since I have posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. I did a quick meditation beforehand, and the underlying energy for the reading is the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is talking about, now that you know what you know, you have conviction beyond a doubt. So the wands represent the element of fire, and they're made of wood because wood fuels fire. Now, this is talking about taking passionate action, and some sort of information came through, and now you know something that you didn't know before. Now that you know it, you're standing on higher ground, and you are determined to fight for what is yours, basically. And this is you protecting your heart with the seventh wand, and these are the actions of other people coming towards you. Now you may notice here that there's a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other, and sometimes that can represent being straddled between two worlds. So you may have just found this information out and you're just adjusting to it, basically. It also can represent walking in someone else's shoes. So in some cases it can represent identity theft or copycat energy, fraud, someone pretending to be you and taking action as if they are you. We just had an alarm go off as soon as I said that. So the Magician is the underlying energy for this reading, and this is an energetic upgrade. In my oracle here, this is the Magician card, and she's a little dragonfly that from Peru. She was playing in a little puddle, and that's how they actually lay their eggs, and they play in the puddle. But she managed to grow a beautiful water lily out of all the mud. And the dragonfly energy is very closely related to dragon energy. Helicopters were originally engineered after watching how the dragonfly is able to maneuver. I mean, they can hover, they can do very complicated maneuvers, and they also can go straight up and down. And so this is talking about, life on the wing, being able to make real quick choices and move quickly. And also it's talking about them using the power of light to envision the new. And so this is talking about they reflect light. If you ever watch dragonflies, you'll notice how sparkly they are, and this is talking about having that sparkle for life as well. So the Magician is saying that you have all the tools you need to have 100% infinite potential, to the power of infinity and beyond, and that you have all the tools, and all you have to do is learn how to use them and put them into use, the right tool for the right job to be more efficient. And to allow yourself to have this energetic upgrade to be able to move forward. And we have the King of Swords energy. And the King of Swords is talking about the energy of the element of air, and he is holding a sword in his hand here. This is representing mental intelligence, discipline of the mind. The King of Swords would be someone that would be highly educated, generally an authority figure, someone who uses their mind to earn their living, not doing physical labor, and they're very good with words and charismatic with them. Now, the King of Swords understands that words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used to uplift people. And, this would generally be someone that would be someone that speaks for a living, because how are your thoughts expressed? Through words. So it could be someone that speaks verbally, or is, writing words down, making laws, that type of energy. Very often this can represent like politician energy. We have a king here, so it can represent like a president, a prime minister, someone higher up like that in the political scene, the senators, congressmen, maybe ministers in the federal or provincial government, people that have some clout, and of making laws for the land and then implementing them. And then we have the legal system for sure is represented in this area. If this is a lawyer, this would probably be a lawyer who's a partner in an established firm. It could be judges, head prosecutor, chief of police, that type of, someone who has the authority at the top when it comes to legalities in law. This can also, with the sword here, represent a surgeon, a dentist, a veterinarian. It could represent a psychiatrist energy, maybe a best-selling author, someone who speaks for a living on stage, or has a social media platform, is good with words, that type of energy. So the King of Swords also understands that if you give your word and you don't back it up by action, then your word really means nothing. And then we have the Six of Pentacles energy, and this is talking about planting seeds. And then this is your harvest. And the pentacle energy is representing the element of earth, and so matters of the earth and earthly matters, like physical matter on the earth. So of course a big part of being able to have anything in the 3D world is having money. And so this is speaking about money, but you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So this goes further and talks about lifestyle. And this looks like this person has managed to plant 6 seeds. This would be like upper middle class energy. And he's able to give charity. So he's giving to this person, but he has learned discernment. He understands the give and take of life. And this card is when you're really starting to learn how much time, money, energy you are willing to invest in any other person, any other project. How much time, money, energy do you invest in yourself? The best investment is always in improving yourself. And then we also have this other person here. And you notice we have the scales of justice, and he's not giving this person anything. Now, this person already has something in their pocket here. So this is a grifter who wants to pretend he doesn't have any money and beg for it so that he doesn't have to risk his own money. He'd rather risk this person's to make money for himself. So this is using discernment, knowing who and what to invest in and how much to invest of yourself in any person or project. And then we have the King of Wands, and he is considered one of the sexiest of the 4 kings. He's very charismatic. The kind of guy you wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. He is a visionary. He is holding this wand and looking into the future. So this is about taking passionate action to move forward. He always has his eye on something new, a new project, a new way of looking at things. How can we improve things? It's a very concentrated effort, research. I forgot to mention this could be the King of Swords energy as well, a mixture of the two, because we have, this can be research, someone who's doing research to find some way to improve the planet, or it could even be like engineer energy, someone inventing things. And the king is kind of a little bit of both here, but he is looking forward into the future, looking for new adventure. This is someone who loves to travel, and he's very charismatic. People really enjoy his company. He can be very charming because he's enthusiastic, so he's fun to be around. And the energy here is the salamanders chasing their tail, and this little guy running by is talking about, and the lion here is talking about the protection from fire. And way back, I noticed that there's like a face on the back of this, and now it's like, yeah, once you see it, you can't forget. So it looks like someone with two eyes, a mustache, and then there's smoke coming out of the nose and the mouth. And I feel like that's saying, this could just say, the king is smoking hot, or it could be talking about where there's smoke, there's fire. The thing to know about the King of Wands when it comes to his romantic life, his love of adventure and all things new, sometimes bleeds into his romantic life. Of the four kings, he's probably the most likely to settle down later in life than the others. The fire signs have a strong sense of independence, and they really, really value their freedom. I mean, when they settle down, they're able to, but they usually do it after all, sometime later than the other signs would. And then we have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is talking about a breath of fresh air. This is again this innovative thinking. We have of the four pages, he's the only one who does not look at his element. He's looking away from it. He already knows the logical question. He's looking to think outside the box and find a creative solution by thinking outside of the box and using his intuition. The pages would work for the king and queen at a very young age, 7 to 14. And this can be significant as to the timing of this information. This could be regarding information that, it's something that maybe happened when you were in elementary school, high school, or just starting out in college, university, under the age of 21. And it can also represent information coming in from people that you knew back then, information about them, or you bump into them again, you meet them again, you haven't seen them for years, and they have some sort of information or communication that's very valuable to you. This information and communication also can come from within. This could represent an energy of when you have an epiphany and all of a sudden it's like, aha, I know the answer to that question. You've been thinking about it for a long time, and all of a sudden it just pops into your head. Definitely can talk about using your intuition and finding really creative solutions to problems. This can very much be the energy of the king. Maybe he's always looking for new ways of seeing things. So this can quite often, for the King of Wands, be an energy of it just popping up into his head. It's something he's been thinking about and maybe is getting ready to build. So it might have to do with that. It also can be actual communication coming in. So this could be a telephone call, a text message. Maybe you get something in the mail. It could be documents, reports, that type of energy. Possibly you're on social media and you get messaged by someone, or you attend an event posted there, and you run into someone from your past that you haven't seen since way back when. And the thing about the pages is they they started in the court that young, but when they were 21, if they were still with the king and queen in the court, they would maybe be considered for knighthood if they could afford their own horse. So this can be talking about a lifelong career and about apprenticing under a mentor or someone like that. We do have the energy of death. And so this card, a lot of people get really freaked out when they see this card. But in tarot, tarot really can't predict anything. We can't predict the future. But what we can do is take a look at, where we're headed and the speed at which we're headed. And that's why my oracle is Tales from the Vectory. It's about your trajectory. So, we can see the kind of the direction that things are headed in, and maybe where you might want to consider taking a different action to have the result that you want. And so this is talking about a cycle that's coming to an end and a new one beginning. Now this is talking about death and rebirth as well. but it's definitely not. The Grim Reaper is here. It's talking about the ending of something and the beginning of another. The Grim Reaper is a figure that many cultures have just to represent this cycle. And we have this flag has that symbol on it, and it represents the light at the end of the tunnel and the cycle of birth and rebirth. Sorry, my cat is just hopped up on my lap here, and she has happy feet, and she's in the purr zone. So if you hear weird noises, that's her in the background. She's in the zone. A cat's purr is said to have a lot of healing properties and can lower the vibration, or raise the vibration, sorry, to a much higher level of where it can actually lower your blood pressure. So she loves the reading, so she's sitting here, and if you hear that weird noise, that's her. She makes me laugh because takes her job very seriously. She's very dedicated to purring. Are you a funny girl? She's so sweet. In any case, here we have the energy of the Grim Reaper coming into town, and this older person here is he's trying to stop the Grim Reaper from coming into town. He's bartering with them. We don't want your change. We don't need any change in this town. And these young people are like, yes, we do. If you've ever lived in a small town, you would understand. Strangers in town, thank the Lord. They might have something interesting to say. And the young ones even holding a flower out to the Grim Reaper, talking about handing him a flower representing rebirth. And, they say that the two things you can count on are death and taxes, but you can also count on change. And actually, change is happening every second of every minute of every day. We just don't really notice it unless it has an impact on us that, changes our physical reality in the moment. And that's when we start to recognize change. And the king has been trampled underfoot here. This is talking about an energy. It's not talking about an actual person. It's talking about systems falling down, new systems having to be, reinvented because the old ones aren't working anymore. And it can be something even as simple as maybe you've always had something that you love doing all your life. And one day you wake up and you say, you know what, it's really weird, but I have zero interest in that anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And you tell other people and they're looking at you like, what? What are we going to get you for Christmas? It was all so easy to buy for you. Well, not anymore, because now I'm starting something new. You don't maybe even know what it is, but it's that type of energy where you just know I've reached my ceiling in this, and it's time to look into doing something else that is more interesting for me at this time. And we have the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles represents some sort of information or communication coming in regarding your lifestyle. This can represent investments. It can an investment that pays really well, or it could talk about inheritances, trusts, some sort of pentacle energy, something that has the power to change your lifestyle. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights. Like, look at his horse is at a standstill here. He could literally have a board meeting with himself just to brush his teeth. Like, sometimes it's so annoying waiting for the Knight of Pentacles to show up with the information. You might wait a long time for it. But when the information does come in from him, generally it's a strong offer. This is talking about doing your research. So if the Knight of Pentacles, yes, it takes time, but especially when you have, this is about finances and lifestyle, and these can be important decisions, such as purchasing a home, or, starting a business, or that type, like investing in something. And so this is really, it's best to really look at saying it's, it can be irritating looking into things and maybe even a little bit boring, but you really do want to really look at things very carefully before signing any contracts or agreements that are going to, have a big impact on your day-to-day life, the pentacle energy and your money. We have, yes, because of this. So maybe this energy, it's sitting on the King of Wands. Like this combination could be one person, or you could be one of these people. We don't know as of yet. I feel like my first impression is that this is the same person. And this has been, working on something and being at a point where you're getting ahead, but you feel a little bit breadcrumb, like there's something not, like you should be getting more than what out of it, than with all the work that you've put into something. And right here we have that energy. We have this Seven of Pentacles is representing, we have 6 pentacles here. And this person's looking at this pile and he's saying, what? I only have 1 pentacle out of all this time, money, energy I've invested in this project. Like, he's used to being successful. So he's like, man, like, what am I doing wrong here? I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like this energy is really frustrating, because it's like, they're like, how could I have put this much energy into something and not gotten what? This is 1 pentacle. That's all I've gotten out of 6 pentacles of energy. Now, this can be talking about loss, and this could be talking about this loss. Or sometimes this can be talking more about your spiritual bank account, where you only put 1 pentacle of energy in and you have 6 pentacles there. And you normally would be saying, wahoo, I'm so excited, I can't believe that I managed to, accomplish this, and you're really happy about it. But this time around, you're just feeling kind of like, whatever, just not as interested. It's this kind of energy here. Before that would have thrilled me, but now it's kind of falling flat. It's like, been there, done that kind of energy. This could be talking about someone who, is tired of just, going after the lifestyle and working for the money. This can represent some passion missing in your life, and it's sitting right on this King of Wands here. So let's see what else is going on here. Then we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is talking about someone, like, look at that, we already have 3 kings here. And so the King of Pentacles is talking about someone who is highly respected for their business acumen. They're someone that is able to produce a good lifestyle. The grapes all over his robe, grapes and tarot represent something that is a luxury item and living a luxurious lifestyle. So this is someone that is admired for their business acumen and for their ability to produce. And so it's kind of like, it feels like sometimes what this can be talking about when we have 3 kings coming up like this is we have the energy of 1 person, and it's talking about almost becoming an emperor energy, moving into that energy and talking about the skills that they've gained along the way from life experience. So this is talking about, this would be the energy of people that are really good at building with money, respected for their business acumen, their clear head around that. Quite often this can represent people in the industry of banking, or if it was about banking, it would be at least a bank manager or higher. This could be someone who it's representing the energy of accountants and financial advisors and wealth management, life insurance, retirement planning, that trusts and inheritances, all of that type of energy. So maybe after this communication comes in, it's like, oh, maybe I don't have to work that hard. Maybe you have an inheritance or an investment paid off really well, or something like that is happening. And now you're thinking, hey, I can move on to doing other things now that I have this gift coming in, or this extra lifestyle energy and money coming through. That it feels like it could be some sort of energy like this. This could represent an entrepreneur who's doing really well. It could represent real estate, so maybe inheriting a property or something and being able to purchase real estate can be very beneficial for the financial portfolio. This can also represent people who are involved in real estate. If so, this would be someone higher up. Like if this is a real estate agent, it would be the energy of someone who is dealing with high-end property and is well established. This can also represent land developers, building contractors, all of that type of energy, and even elements that come out of the earth, like so the mining industry and the stock market, so gold, silver, oil. So this can be representing some sort of pentacle energy coming in that has the potential to change what you do here, and maybe allowing you more freedom to do what you actually really want to do. Now, this also could be 3 separate kings, and that are all know each other. These are all, would be higher up people. Like this could be someone who's, well known politically and whatever. And then this could be someone who's passionate about, moving forward with an entrepreneur or something and a CEO. Like they could have the qualities. These 3 kings might travel in the same circles basically, or they can represent one person's energy and their path of learning, right? And then we have the 2 of Wands. And so the 2 of Wands is talking about someone who wants to expand their horizons. They want to move forward in something. Remember, we were talking about this energy here. It's kind of pointing that way. Now, this could be 3 kings collaborating to do something together. There is an energy here. This person is standing on the turret of their castle and wanting to, overlooking their domain, and they have the world in their hands, but they want to expand their horizons. And so this is talking about sometimes dealing with people overseas. It can talk about moving money back and forth. Like it's talking about large amounts. It's like people who are making investments together. And so it's talking about when you get to the point where you are making investments other than what you do for a living, and it's adding to your portfolio, your financial portfolio, and being well respected enough to do so. It can also be, this can quite often reminds me of franchise energy. I've got the world in my hands, but I feel like a big fish in a little pond, and it's time to expand, go global, work with people internationally, that type of energy. And here we have a wand planted here saying, I'm been very successful where I'm at, but maybe now it's time to change location, like actually literally move. Or sometimes it can be talking about the energy of wanting to add locations. So an entrepreneur that wants to franchise, that type of energy. And so this is talking about wanting that expansion in your life. And sometimes, the one king we don't yet have here is the king with a cup of love. So the King of Cups is the only king that's not missing. So maybe this is saying that you want to meet someone and start a family. Like you're well established now financially and, in your career and all that. And, as I said, the King of Wands tends to do that later than the other signs. So it may be thinking, okay, it's time to do that now. And then we have, a lover comes in. There we go. I was kind of wondering, where's all the passion here? So this is talking about, the divine saying, hey, you've done a really great job collaborating with the universe to send the perfect person to you. This is a divine couple. And so this is, there is a cloud between them, and that's representing that this is somebody that you don't know or you haven't had a relationship with as a significant other in the past. And this is someone that could be coming into your life, someone that you might want to get to know. And this could be a person that maybe you want to start a family with, or it could be talking, like the Lover's card is talking about romantic love. but it also can be talking about love of anyone or anything. It could be talking about the perfect business partner or both, you know, and it can also be talking about moving forward in that energy and finally finding someone that you can really relate to, that you can empower them, they empower you, and it's a divine relationship. It's you know, destined to happen so that you have that support in your life on all the different levels. And then we have the Strength card. And the Strength card is talking about having the courage to be able to move forward, and, you know, address any fears you have about moving into that energy. You know, especially like if you have all of this going on, and now you maybe have met someone, and like it's kind of like, oh, okay. This is like reaching that infinite potential. Like this is the last well, it's the last step, right? That's the one king that's missing. So this is about having the strength and the courage and the integrity to dig deep within yourself. This young woman is reaching into this mature adult lion's mouth, saying, this is representing fears of, you know, being in relationships. It's sitting right on this King of Wands energy. So it can be talking about, you know, that desire to stay free. And but maybe you've met someone and you're thinking, you know, I think I could settle down with this person. And so it's talking about having that desire coming in after, you know, you have the lifestyle, you have what you need that way, and you can certainly afford to maybe start a family, and maybe that's the expansion. You maybe already have this, and this is the expansion that you want, but you have some fears around it. So you're looking into those and digging deep, looking at your shadow side, which takes integrity. And, you know, it's looking at your shadow side is hard work, because you have to look at the parts of you that are difficult and dig deep within. And then we have the Four of Pentacles energy. So the Four of Pentacles, what is this doing here now? Like this is sitting on this knowledge here. And I feel like this could be saying that this is someone that you met back at a time where you were just starting out more. You know, you might have been an adult already, and you might have even been at a phase in your life where you were starting to get bored with what you were doing and moving into this new energy. This is actually talking about the 3 levels of making money. And so maybe back at that time you were struggling with this energy of how, you know, like getting that energy moving to have this lifestyle so that you could really afford to be in a position to continue doing the work you're doing and have the time, the money, the energy to invest in a relationship. And maybe at that time you didn't. And so this card talks about the 3 levels of making money. This is having safe money, like a strong foundation for making money, but you still have a lot of work to do, and not being able to really go after your heart's desires. Or sometimes or your crown and glory. Your crown and glory is when you're really on your destined path and you're moving forward to be all of that. You know, your lifestyle reflects all 4 kings, not just 3 of them, all 4. And so this is sometimes talking about selling yourself short, or missing out on opportunities, or not being willing to take the risk at the time to go after. And it's the one thing we don't have here still is this. We have a potential lover here, but we don't have the King of Cups here. So there's, you know, this can be talking about, you know, he has his back to the city, and it's very reflective of this energy here as well, where someone is having to, you know, turn their back on where they came from and what they were doing here to get to that next level, to get to their crown and glory and their authentic desires. And I feel like that's the energy that you're in right now. And maybe in the past you've had to not take on some opportunity for doing that because you were busy doing this. And so that now this is maybe your main focus, and that's what this is talking about. And so this can be talking about an energy of sometimes this is about playing small and not really going after what you really wanted in the past. When it comes to this energy, I feel like being passionately in love with someone and being more focused on this energy. And it can also talk about, it's hard to be a hero in your small town. So expanding your horizons to have more energy coming in. And also this can be about, it can sometimes talk about other people wanting to hang on to your desires. They want you to stay where you're at, basically. Don't get too big now, because we don't want you going off and doing something else. And then this can represent people who don't want to be left behind. And so this can be talking about like people that you've known for a really long time. The Knight of Pentacles takes a long time to come through. So it could be talking about some sort of energy around that. And then we have the Empress energy. So definitely, like the Empress is all four queens rolled into one. Maybe you've met someone that you consider to be your Empress. And that's the energy now that this is why you're now in this energy where you're thinking, okay, I'm willing to make the changes that I do need to make to have this Empress in my life, to add this to, and that would be that cup of love that you're missing. So this energy, the Empress embodies the qualities of all of the queens in the minor arcana. This is someone who's pregnant with possibility. And sometimes this can represent pregnancy. So, if you don't want to get someone pregnant, remember you're very fertile at this time and so are they. But if this is, this definitely could say that you're wanting to start a family now. And it might even be with someone that you met in the past, but it's not someone that you've already had a significant relationship with. And this is talking about her ability, like the Empress is known for her ability to manifest at a very high level. She has wheat growing at her feet here, and the wheat growing at her feet is representing how she implements her ability to grow shift, like how to manifest at a high level, like using her magic, her magician quality energy. And so, for example, if she wants to grow wheat, she's known for growing bumper crops, but the way she would do it is put plans into place. So she would decide, okay, which crop? Then she would decide, okay, is it wheat or durum? We're going to grow wheat. Okay, so, which field is the best one to grow the wheat in? So she would figure that out. That's where we're going to grow it. She would have the soil tested and see if it needs amending. Does it need fertilizing? What does it need? Also making sure that all the stones and rocks and anything that could damage the expensive seeding and harvesting equipment, that it's picked clean off the land. And then she would wait for the most opportune time to plant it. She's an organic farmer, so she doesn't spray. So she knows, okay, this is the amount of time, money, and energy that I'm willing to invest in this project. She does her best to do the best that she can to get the best result. And then she waves her magic wand and she says, okay, universe, and nature, grow me a bumper crop. She might do the odd rain dance after that, but other than that, she's not going to worry about it. She's not going to invest a whole bunch of her time and money and energy into, making it happen. She's confident it will happen. She's done everything she can to make it happen, and she moves off to the next project that she wants to work on. And that's the type of energy, like there's no need to worry using your creative solutions. It's, I'm talking about this energy again of manifesting at a high level. And then we have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is talking about someone. Sometimes this can represent someone who is leaving a relationship and moving into something new. So sometimes it could have that energy of divorce and moving on to be a single person for a while. And now maybe you've been single. Maybe that's why we don't see the King of Cups in here anywhere, because there hasn't been any offer of love, but now you're ready to maybe do that. Or maybe you've never had that experience before. where you became a couple that was like significant, you know, that you were willing to build a family with, and that type of energy. So sometimes this can saying that you're single now and you're looking for this, or sometimes it can be entering that portal and working together with someone else as one, depending on your situation. And it, you know, we have the sun shining on the water, making it golden here. There's ships sailing by. So this is also talking about that expansion, you know, across the waters, the horizon. This could be a long distance relationship at the time. This could be someone that you met, you know, that's like overseas, or that type of energy, and wanting to make that move to be with them, or them making that move to be with you. And then we have, look at this, the marriage at the top. So this is definitely like, this is the tarot card that talks about the marriage card, basically the official marriage card. But it doesn't have to be. This can be about commitments and having a strong foundation to make a strong commitment. It's talking about finding the perfect partner, you know, the castle. And like, you have the down payment for the castle, you know, you're still going to have to make payments on it, but this is a very strong foundation for moving forward, or building a business, finding the perfect business partner to expand this business into a bigger energy. This can also talk, you know, like the question's been popped, the wedding is planned. Now you're working on the wedding, and then you need to pour the energy into the relationship itself if you want it to work. And so maybe for the first time in a long time, you have the time to do it. We still don't have, like, this is definitely talking about a divine person in romantic love, but we still don't have the King of Cups. So you may not have made that offer yet, but you're planning to do so in the near future. Now, and this also, it's interesting because this is also talking about, now that you know what you know, you're ready to move forward. And maybe that you've never felt this quite this way about someone else, and that's why you haven't done it. And you found out some information. And it's kind of interesting because this is talking about having to stand your ground and really identify with who you are at this time. And now that you know what you know, maybe you didn't have the full information in the past. This is how it changes how you want to do things. And one thing I've noticed here too, this card, or these three cards together, definitely can be talking about the 1111 or 111 portal, which is it's a portal of energy that is very magical. It's when the universe is trying to get your attention. And it's kind of a weird phenomena. The best way is just to explain how it happens. It's talking about, you know, you'll be sitting at your computer, and you'll glance at the clock, and it's 11:11, and you're like, oh, I have to check out that appointment I have today. You know, I have an appointment at 1:30. I better check and see where it is and how long is it going to take me to get there. And you look it up, and it is 11 minutes away, and it's at 111 11th Avenue. And you're like, oh, okay. So as you're leaving the house, you glance at the clock, and it's 1:11, and you're like, oh, good, I've got like 20 minutes to get there, and I have 9 minutes left over. But then you end up on the way, there's a detour on the way of getting there, and you're thinking, oh, but the vehicle in front of you has the license plate, and the license plate is 111, and you're like, it's got 111 in it. And you're like, that's a lot of 111, 11:11s that I've seen in the last, you know, since 11:11 this morning. And so this is talking about the 111 portal, where it's really, what it's saying is, you're a very powerful manifester at this time. You are manifesting at a very high level, or have the potential to do so. So make sure that you keep your thoughts on where you want to go, not on the problems and how you're going to get there. and you show up on time, and that's the energy. But after that, you start to notice 111, 11, 11 on the clock a lot. Or you're driving by a building and it's 111 this. It just shows up a lot. And you'll start to notice that every time that happens, if you check your thoughts, you might be having a negative thought. And we can get into the habit of having negative thoughts and then not realizing how negative our thoughts are. And so the 111, 11, 11 portal is the universe saying, keep your thoughts on where you want to go, not on difficulties getting there. And you'll start to notice that. And so you can start, it gets you in the habit of more positive thinking, of thinking about where you want to go. And it's a strong, powerful, energetic portal. And to show up with a magician here, it's definitely a portal that you're accessing at this time. So if you're watching this reading, the 111 portal is opening for you. Pay attention to your thoughts. Are you focusing on where you want to be, what you want to accomplish, or are you focusing on the problems and the negative energy around you? Because quite often, to be manifesting at this powerful of a level, you have to keep focused on, like it's like laser sharp energy. We have the King of Swords focusing. This could be someone that, you're not where you want to be, but you're getting there kind of energy. And this is talking about, wanting to expand your horizons, and possibly that could be potentially with someone that you would like to get into romantic relationship with, or do business with. And you find this person, and maybe you've even changed location because they're, somehow to get together. And this is now happening. This is someone you can consider to be an empress, and this would make you an emperor level then. You would have that fourth cup of love, even though it hasn't shown up here as of yet. This is saying you're thinking about it. So it's talking about, make sure you keep your thoughts on how to get there rather than on it not being possible. And this is a long way, like this is something or someone that you've had on your mind for a while. It's went back in the day when you were more in this energy and you were waiting, for this more lucrative energy to come in, the lifestyle to be there, that type of energy, and moving forward. And this is talking about a big transition happening in your life. And it's kind of like a breath of fresh air energy. It's like getting back into this energy of being really enthusiastic about moving forward again. And maybe you haven't been for a while, and now it's like, woohoo, I'm ready to do that. And maybe this is talking about, now that you know what you know, it's talking about wanting to go back to this energy that you had back then, like the enthusiasm, the love of, and not take life quite so seriously. That's the energy that I'm picking up here. Like the difference between wearing a boot and a shoe. It could be, so this could be two identities that you have within yourself. And now that you know what you know, maybe some information came in and you're like, wow, like I have an opportunity to have what I wanted back then, but have it in the way I have earned it to be now. So this is really powerful energy. Thank you, magician. I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards here. This is, as I said, the Tales from the Vector, and the numbers on these cards represent the paintings listed in the gallery in my on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I'll put them in the order they appear here, so that you can take a look at them if you desire to. Sometimes they say a painting paints 1,000 words, and it could give you further clarity as to your situation. We do have the Capricorn energy here. So this is talking about being responsible and like a mature person. This is the most mature of the Pentacle energy. And so this is saying that you've reached a certain point where, you saw the possibilities and the challenges, and you've made your way through a lot. You're responsible, and you have a lot of ambition still. And this is about taking consistent steps of action to reach your goal. And so this is talking about how you got there. Like this is you entering into that Emperor energy for sure. And I just want to point out, when the horoscope signs show up in my readings, I'm not talking about individuals. That's not my intention. I'm talking about the quality of each of the signs. All the horoscope signs have their strengths and weaknesses, and we can really learn a lot about ourselves. I mean, if you ever get your chart done, you'll notice that you have all the signs in it somewhere, and it can give you further clarity about your potential, basically, and also the potential of other people and how to understand people better. So you could, in your own individual reading here, be like, no, Colette, there's a Capricorn involved. Like that is something that you have to use your own intuition and knowledge. We don't always know what sign someone is. And so this energy, I just want you to be aware of that, use your intuition with that. My goal is just more to learn from each of the qualities of the signs. And then we have the High Priestess energy. This is talking about that ability to use your intuition and your logic. That the High Priestess is very joyful because she has a very strong understanding of how to do so. And she follows the cycles of the moon to follow when she's most intuitive, when she wants to make big decisions. We have a lot of manifesting energy here for sure. We have the denial. What I don't know won't hurt me. You may have learned if you've been in the game a while that yes, what you don't know can hurt you. And maybe there's some energy around this. There could be something that you don't know. Maybe you've been denying yourself too, like you're in an energy so focused on moving forward into the future when it comes to, like your business, your career, your whatever it is you're working on, but not feeling yet satisfied in this department. Temperance is having the devotion to stay on your path, even when it becomes difficult, and doing the best that you can be to be a good person. It's talking about this transition here could be saying this reward is coming in for you now, that your lifestyle is about to change in a magical way. Like this is talking about you've earned it to be in a place where you've been devoted to your goals in life and you've been devoted to being a good person, and now it's time to have that extra element in your life so that your life is special. And we have the dissension. With friends like this, who needs enemies? Yeah, it's picking up a little bit of energy here. Sometimes the people that we start out with that are in our circle, they'll be really helpful and want us to grow, and it'll be that type of energy. But then if they feel that someone is growing too fast and getting ahead of them, then there's this pullback energy, and it can be like people in your inner circle that they might not even be aware of it sometimes. Sometimes they are, of doing things that are really holding you back and wanting to hold you back because they're riding on your coattails, basically. And so they don't want you to get too big and not want them in your life anymore. And this can be very subtle. It can be very obvious, and it can sometimes be like they don't even realize they're doing it, and neither do you until you look a few years back from the future and realize all the ways that some of the people in your inner circle held you back. And that could be friends, family, business. It could be a lot of things. And a lot of times it's due to, I feel sometimes like when we are still, like with people that we started out with, a lot of people don't like change as much as, like, say, the King of Wands would like change. Someone who's in this energy that likes to be constantly moving forward. And so a lot of times people they don't want that change to happen like you do. And you're a superstar. And so you weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. That's the energy. And it's about having harmony in your life. And sometimes we get to a certain point where you just have to be you, and you want harmony in your life, and you don't want to be arguing with people in your inner circle or having to explain yourself. Like, you've reached that point where if I want to be with this person, I'm going to be with them. And my intuition is very loudly telling me that's where I want to be. As far as I'm concerned, this is my empress. I want to be an emperor. And the emperor can be very, high performance, but the emperor is someone that also is an alpha male. They're not going to entertain like this energy of pleasing other people. It's my way or the highway energy sometimes, especially when it comes to when your intuition is telling you to move forward. That's what's gotten you to where you're at, you know. And then we have the pride here. So this can be a karmic space that we can all fall into for sure. Is the karmic space of pride. It's an all or nothing energy and wanting it all. But it also, you know, there's pride before the fall. So sometimes, you know, this energy is talking about you trying to persuade yourself and getting into this karmic space of being too proud to change, or other people not wanting you to change for the reasons that I just talked about, and a combination of both. Surrendering to the psychic energy, like surrendering to God's plan, basically. This is like it's when your intuition's really trying to get your attention here. Like there's a real good opportunity here for you. Like you don't want to miss out on this. It's when the 111 portal comes in, it's not talking about disasters happening. It's talking about missed opportunities. And that's the one thing that, you know, if you're in denial and not listening to that energy, it's most likely that you're just going to miss out on a huge opportunity. And it could be something that you've wanted a long time, you know. It could be something that goes way back when you were, you know, like more in your enthusiastic energy here, like more optimistic. Life has a way of knocking us down a bit. And we have the Aries energy here. So I feel like this is really interesting because Neptune is coming up, and Neptune moved about, I think it's been about almost 3 months now, that Neptune moved out of the sign of Pisces, where into the sign of Aries. And when it did that, like Neptune is about our idealism, the way we approach life, the way we want things to go, what we feel like we're capable of, how we go about with our relationships, with business, money, lovers, partnerships, all of that. And we can get really like, you know, Neptune is a very big planet, and it takes 14 years for it to move from one house to the other. And it was very, very comfortable in the Pisces energy because it rules over Pisces. And, you know, it's kind of like when you set your systems up and you have everything. This is how I do things, and this is how it works. And it works every time because I have my systems in place. I finally have figured it out. Woohoo! And it goes back to this energy here where you're wondering, why aren't things working? Or why isn't this exciting me anymore? What is missing? And it can be about this energy because Neptune moved into the sign of Aries, and it's going to be there for the next 14 years. Neptune in Pisces, think of the senior executive, you know, having your systems in place, knowing how things work. And it's a very idealistic energy. It's more, you know, things will work out kind of energy, a little more dreamy. Moving into Aries, the newborn infant that's screaming its head off, and everybody's like, the baby's crying, the baby's crying. How are we going to make the baby happy? And if you've ever had a newborn infant in the house, you know that for something so small and helpless looking, they rule. No one wants to hear the baby crying. And so this is talking about having to sometimes tweak and adjust the way you approach life. And it's like a new energy that's coming in, and like a new baby. You think about how much a baby learns in the first year alone, and then for the next 14. So it's kind of that energy of having a new approach, a new way of approaching what you've been doing for a long time, and having to make those adjustments for it to work and for you to enjoy it in the same way. It's saying don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you may have to tweak your systems, you know, and it can be really annoying. I would compare it, a lot of people are feeling this. Let me know in the, you know, in the comments below if you've been feeling this. It's like the same old way of doing things is not working. And that's like having a shoe on one foot and a boot on the other, you know. It's like realizing, okay, I'm going to have to adjust a little bit here. It's like when your phone, you wake up in the morning and your phone updated and now you can't figure out how to use it again. So you have to take a couple hours to figure out how your phone works again. And it can be really irritating. But then, a week later, you're like, wow, that was actually quite beneficial. I'm using a lot of this new update. Has really made things easier for me in some ways. So it's that type of energy. A breath of fresh air and stirring the mud to grow the flower, the water lilies. So I do hope you've enjoyed this energy. I really have enjoyed this reading. It's uplifting and it's good to feel this energy coming through. I will be back with another reading for you tomorrow, a daily tattletale reading. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I very much appreciate them all. And I will be back soon. Bye for now.